Books are worthy if they question identity. If they question my identity, which is next to nothingness, then that book is worthy.
You cannot be virtuous if you pick up a book that teaches you virtue without teaching you self-knowledge. The book is next to junk. Though it will appear a very respectable book, it is telling you to be compassionate, and what are the other virtues that we talk of? Merciful, loving, caring, non-violent. All these great things are being taught without telling you, first of all, why you are neither of these.
Time and space and the temporality of it. I have two questions. One is when you discussed about how Krishna is persuading Arjun as being the actor, and the second one is pertinent to when he's urging him to take actions. The first thing, I don't know if it is a question, but it's kind of a statement. So, thus, form is the truth of time and thus the targetable illusion in the backdrop of time is the biggest creation of human being. So, how does one manage the balance of specificity and generality of their being as per the practical means of survival? I would also like to put my second question so that you could decide whether these two could be answered together. Books are worthy if they question identity. If they question my identity, which is next to nothingness, then that book is worthy. Um, but books can also be my tool to make me compassionate as a human being because it if I turn it over its head, it could also make me relate to many more identities and not limit myself as I being the identity which is righteous in itself or culturally the most progressive self.
Yeah, but who will relate?
So, the ego, I understand that.
No, but I don't know the ego. Then the ego is the truth. And then the ego gets the license to relate in whatever way it deems fit. And then there can be no compassion. See, self knowledge is the mother of all virtues, compassion or all any other virtue. You cannot be virtuous if you pick up a book that teaches you virtue without teaching you self knowledge. The book is next to junk. Though it will appear a very respectable book, it is telling you to be compassionate, and what are the other virtues that we talk of? Merciful, loving, caring, and non-violent. All these great things are being taught without telling you, first of all, why you are neither of these. If I remain unchallenged and these words are given to me, then I, remaining who I am, I will form my own definitions of these words. Definitions that preserve or secure my existence. Because I will remain who I am. A word has come to me. Obviously, the word has not come to me to destroy me. The word has come to me to become my tool or my toy. I'll pick up that word and interpret it, define it in a way that secures my existence. So I'll pick up non-violence and interpret it in a way that I remain I and I still remain non-violent. Now, me remaining me is itself violence. So I'll be violently non-violent. Therefore, books that go into the various goodies of life, you must be loving and you must look at animals as brothers and sisters and all these things, they actually deceive. And a lot of problem in this world is not because we are being taught to be bad and ugly and petty. Nobody teaches you to be that, right? Have you ever seen anybody teaching pettiness or violence or mercilessness to a kid? That is never taught. And yet we remain petty and violent and merciless. Why? Because all the nice things, all the virtuous things, they are being taught in an environment divide of self knowledge. And when you will teach non violence without self knowledge, that is violence. When you will teach compassion without self knowledge, that is cruelty. And it will be a very virtuous looking cruelty. It will be cruelty carrying the name of compassion, and therefore it will become impregnable. You will say, I am already compassionate. I'm already compassionate. What are you teaching me? I'm already good. What are you teaching me? Therefore, before you espouse any values or virtues, it is important to see where you stand. If I do not know what my situation is, and I want to put on things on myself, then those things will be just in the category of the Alpa Buddhi example that we had. Somebody, for example, is being somehow trained in a particular skill or a particular domain, or is being uh, genetically manipulated to have a huge IQ. All that is possible now. And yet that person has no self inquiry. What will the high IQ be used for? What will all his skills and knowledge be used for? They'll be used for very destructive purposes. Therefore, self knowledge compulsorily always has to come first. If I do not know myself, then all my virtues will be used for very vile purposes. And all my resources will be used for destruction of this and that and whatnot. Hmm? So I've answered probably the second part to begin with.
Repeat the first one.
Yeah, the time and form part.
I'll also want to add something over there.
Yes.
Form is the truth of time. Uh, just interjecting one thing over here. There is a truth, and that is in breaking the boundaries and the expansion of the self is the truth one aims for. But then there's another truth. I mean, there cannot be another truth, but for the lack of it, perception is the truth. One lives in the realm of existence. So, considering the matter that is in each is the same, but correlating these two, form becomes the truth of time, which also is illusion, because time is the biggest illusion created. Now, if you could say something on this, because for me, time and space.
You see, you have great trust on me, obviously. And it gives me no pleasure to tell you that there is a huge snake at your back. Huge snake. And you have great trust in me. That snake becomes your truth. Obviously, I'm not lying to you because you have trust on me. Obviously, I'm not lying to you. Obviously. So that snake becomes your truth. This is what you call the truth of the moment. This is time bound truth. In this moment, the snake does exist for you because you believe me. So the snake becomes your truth. And then you start acting in self defense. Then you start shivering in fear. And you start doing things accordingly. Maybe you were reading a great book, you put the book aside. Maybe you were eating something, you push the food away. Maybe you were meditating, the meditation is gone. Everything is gone because there is the snake, and the snake is your truth, the truth of the moment. And then after 5 minutes, you somehow manage to slowly slip away from your sofa and gather the courage to look what is behind you, and there is no snake.
There is a rope.
There is something. There is no snake. There is something. There is no snake. Where is the truth? Therefore, the knowers always defined everything with respect to human suffering. All the definitions have suffering at the core. Please understand. So the truth is that which does not deceive, because what deceives gives you suffering. What deceives you makes you suffer, does it not? Therefore, truth has been given a very utilitarian definition. The definition is that the truth is that which does not change, because if it changes, then it deceives. If it deceives, it makes you suffer. You pushed your food aside, you kept your book aside, you suspended all your activities because you took your belief to be the truth. You believed me. That which you are calling as truth is nothing but belief, because it changes. It changes. And if truth is belief, truth, what you believe in can be taken as the truth. One has a choice always. I believe in something, I can call it the truth, but it will make you suffer. Because the next moment things will change, and you will find that whatever you put into your truth has gone waste. For example, you thought that there is a snake here. So very, very slyly, in your own very smart way, you picked up your phone in a way that the snake would not notice. The phone is already in your hand. So even without moving, you picked up your phone and you opened an app and you called some person who catches snakes. And he said, before I come, kindly deposit rupees 20,000. And so you have already deposited 20,000 in his account. That 20,000 will not return. When belief becomes truth, then you get duped, you get fooled. And therefore, the sages were very clear. The definition of truth will not be theoretical or merely philosophical. It will be utilitarian. The truth is that which is of use to you. The truth is that which will not make you suffer. Therefore, the truth has to be something that does not change with time. Therefore, beliefs cannot be called as truth. Form and time and these things, they keep changing. They keep changing, no? Nothing, no form remains as it was. And if you base your decisions on forms, then you're squandering your resources, like the 20,000 that has gone waste. So these are not to be called as truths. These to be called as merely fleeting perceptions. I perceive it this way, which is all right. We are all, in that sense, limited in our perception. But the moment you acknowledge it is a mere perception, there is a certain humility. And then there is receptivity towards change. I think it is so, it might not be so. It appears this way, it might not be this way. And that is the way to go about life. Advait Vedant is very clear about it. That which is perceived is not to be rejected. That which just appeals to your senses is not again to be summarily rejected, but it has to be seen as a mere perception. But it is something that goes with life. You cannot do away with it, right? Something appears tasty, you know, it is just a game of chemicals and constitution of the body, right? There is nothing objective called taste. Correct? That which appears tasty to one person may not appear tasty to another person. That which appears tasty to you in one condition will not appear tasty in another condition. In fact, taste varies with cultures also. And taste obviously varies with species also. But if something appears tasty, it does appear tasty.
Sir, I have to ask you this question at this moment. If something appears tasty, it appears tasty is faith for me. I mean, to my limited knowledge
Yes,
of
yes,
how
yes,
I
yes. Not
understand
again
it.
faith, just perception, yes. Just perception.
Now, this is just for my personal undertaking as to how do I really build more faith in my life, because belief can be an acquired wine I have been drinking.
Double the taste. When something is tasty, there is pleasure in the taste, and there is joy in seeing that taste is just taste, nothing more than that.
Okay, I have to ask you this question now. There's belief. Now, belief can be broken and it can be formed and it can be reformed. There's no permanency to it. And it's not faith. I know there is faith, but then that it is, it is. It's a rose, is a rose, is a rose, is a rose. Now, how do I move from belief to faith? If there is a way, please tell me.
You see, faith is about being in great touch with your current situation. Hmm? Faith is about seeing that the current situation is so weak that anything will be better than this. Any unknown situation that you come to after quitting your current one would definitely be better. Even the worst alternative is better than the current state. That is faith. That is faith. So then, even without being confident of or secure of the future, you can give up on the bondages of the present. That is faith. I do not know what will come next, but I know I must move. That is faith. This is not working. That is faith. And there is no way I am going to stick to something that is not working. I have this little life that I think I have, the remaining few years. Why must I pursue them towards something that is suboptimal for me?
So, the argument I'm giving is the belief which I'm making and breaking.
Yes, yes,
Okay, great. Great. That's a great tool.
yes, yes.
The last question still remains. I'm sorry for taking so much time. How does one manage the balance of specificity and generality of being as per the practical means of survival? You were saying that remove the
You don't
specificity.
have to remove it. I just said Advait Vedant honors the practical reality. The fact that I am there and this is there and I'm tasty. There is no way Vedanta is saying this is not to be acknowledged as tasty. Acknowledge it as tasty. But choose your cup, your mug, your fluid, your drink in a way that will liberate you of the necessity to cling to drinks. So, your what you call as your practical reality, all this. In the domain of this reality, you have to make choices that enable you to be free of the bondages of this reality. This that you call as your reality is not just reality, it is a reality full of bondages. No? And in this reality, thankfully, you have choice available. You can sit either on the sofa or on the floor or on that chair or behind me or on top of me. No? In this reality, you have these choices. Sit at a place where you can listen to me. Now, I'm not speaking from the sky. I belong to this reality, this three-dimensional reality, which is in the highest sense a mere illusion. In the Paramarthic sense, is anything happening here? Am I speaking? I'm just a bubble. I'm an illusion. Choose your illusions carefully. You're not being told to choose the truth. Look at the beauty of it. The truth cannot be chosen. But among the illusions, make a conscious choice. Choose the kind of bubble that will enable you to get rid of bubbles. Not that you can say that the three-dimensional space is a mere illusion. Within this space, sit at a place where you can listen to the Gita more carefully. Any spatial coordinate that you choose is in the ultimate sense an illusion, because space itself is illusory. So xyz here, x1 y1 z1, x1 y2 z2, that something, all these are equal in a sense that they are mere. And if they are all equal, can I say that instead of sitting here I will sit there because this place is equal to that place? Can I say that? No. Even within illusions, choose with consciousness. In the domain of illusions, make a conscious choice and remain humble enough still to accept that even your best choice is within the domain of illusions. So Vedant says that illusions are the tool to get rid of illusions. Just like swimming. How do you, the water is there probably to drown you down. In the worst scenario, if you just stay in the water, you will drown, in fact. But the same water carries you to the other shore, does it not? That's the approach of Vedanta. It can either drown or deliver. Use water in a way that takes you to the other shore. So learn to swim. Don't just stand cursing the water. Learn to swim. The water obviously is very deep and you will drown. But if you know how to swim, then the water itself carries you to the other place. Does it not? Ask a swimmer and the swimmer will say the water is a great friend. The water itself carries you to that place. If the water didn't offer you buoyancy, would you be carried to that place? Water offers you buoyancy. Water offers you a certain reaction. You hit water backwards and the water hits you forward. So it is because of the buoyancy and the reaction of the water that you are liberated of the water. So use the world in a way that liberates you of the world. The world might be illusory, but still use the world. For practical reasons, behave as if the world is real. The key thing is as if. In your practical day-to-day life, behave as if the world is real. But always remember that it's as if. As if. Behave as if the world is real and then use the world in a way that liberates you from the world. So this is not for those who want to run away from the world. This is for those who want to constructively use the world. Vedanta is for those who want to use the world very constructively. Vedanta is the best form of creative engagement with the world. It is not renunciation of the world. It is creative engagement. It is liberative engagement with the world.
Thank you so much. Between Water also gives rhythm.
Just download the Acharya Prashant app and there you go to the community section and you have live testimonials streaming in at the rate of 1 every 5 minutes. I'm seeing lives change in thousands, if not millions, every day in front of my own eyes. We are doing it. Right. We have actually done it.
Join the community of more than 2 lakh participants on the Acharya Prashant app. Your first month is completely free. You'll get full access to Gita Mission. On the app, you will get regular live sessions, daily exclusive conversations with Acharya Prashant, access to the vibrant Gita community, wisdom exams, curated news, audiobooks, quotes, and much more. Search Acharya Prashant on Google Play Store or Apple App Store and download now.